Last night, President-elect Joe Biden tweeted $600 is simply not enough when you have to choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. We need $2,000 stimulus checks. With last week's double win for the Democrats in Georgia and the party soon to be in control of both Congress and the White House, chances of that $2,000 stimulus seem very likely. I was joking with Chris a couple weeks ago that for every $100 of stimulus, we will probably make $100,000 in the stock market. And today on Dumb Money, we're going to tell you how we plan to do just that. We're picking blue wave stocks, we're using leverage, and we're going to try to turn that $2,000 stimulus into a $2 million stock gain.
This is Dumb Money Live with Chris Camillo, Dave Hansen, and Jordan McLean, streaming live on YouTube. We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to the show. If you're tuning in and wondering why so many people have liked this video, it's because that's my job. It's to politely ask you all to hit that like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps people find this video. I'm actually in Savannah, Georgia right now. Chris back home from his trip. Jordan holding down his home base there. For the record, the three of us are not going to qualify for any stimulus checks. We haven't received any stimulus payments, but last year, through a series of stock and options trades, we were able to make collectively over $25 million by playing this insane, never-seen-before swing in the stock market. And while I don't think there's any way we're going to recreate it again this year, I do think that the new round of $2,000 stimulus is the opportunity we need to turn that into a $2 million gain. What do you think? Chris, Jordan, how hard is this going to be?
I already did it.
All right, show over. Thanks for watching.
Later.
No, like for real, you were on vacation, Dave, and we came up with this episode, last Tuesday or Wednesday, and I put all my trades were on. I mean, by Thursday afternoon, I did it. Like I was up $2.8 million in 2 days.
See, normally he
last
just
week.
beats me up for having a life. Now he's beating Dave up for having a life.
No, but in all in all seriousness, it's no joke, dude. I thought when we came up with the episode title, I said I know we can nail $2 million from the $2,000 stimulus. I know we can do it. I'm super confident in the next few weeks. I didn't think it would be 2 days. Yeah, I was up like 2.8 million. Today I'm down $500,000. So it's like $2.3 million since we came up with that. It's not all stimulus, right? But easily, I think anybody, us specifically, that are willing to put a significant amount of leverage into this trade. And by the way, before we get into this, guys, we're not financial advisors. We're not saying you should put financial leverage into any trade or even mimic this trade because we don't know your risk tolerance. Our risk tolerance, my risk tolerance is freaking sky high, but I don't care. Like I see this as maybe the best trading opportunity of 2021 in terms of a large-scale macro trade, right, guys? Like, I don't know if we'll have too many of these left. Like, we're so used to them now after last year, but this, to me, is the last mega opportunity. It's the dream. Like, it's the freaking dream. Like $2,000 stimulus? Are you kidding me?
Well, and that's the thing. You've made your $2 million because you were playing Blue Wave. You were playing all of that. Now, the $2,000 stimulus hasn't yet been finalized, right? I think that the stock market is going to...
It's pretty much...
You think it's fully priced in at this point?
No, it's not priced in. It's not priced in, which is why
so
I didn't sell
I feel like
anything.
that there's going to be a day when that gets, approved, or at least as soon as we're like 99% sure that it's going to happen. I think that's when retail investors, the Robin Hooders, start buying stocks that they love, and that's when Tesla goes up again. That's when Bitcoin goes up. That's when all of those things that we keep talking about as being kind of our bounce back stimulus trades, they keep going up.
Yes. Dave, can we just, before we talk into the trades, can we just talk about the scenario modeling? This is everything that we do. If you're watching us for the first time, is about scenario modeling. It's social arb. It's observational investing. It's basically running scenarios, trying to early detect change, preparing yourself for that change, and when it happens, knowing exactly what you want to do. I think let's talk about the next few weeks. Obviously, we have a lot of market noise right now, and market noise equals opportunity because everyone is so focused on Trump, everyone's so focused on the impeachment, right? I think there will be a lot of back and forth over the next week about is he getting impeached, is he not getting impeached? I love this market noise because people are not focused. If we didn't have that noise, guys, what would we
Yes.
have? What would be the topic right now?
Stimulus is all
$2,000
you'd hear
stimulus.
about. So actually, we've basically we've put pause on stimulus talk, and now we're talking about all the other things, and that's going to come right back to stimulus, so we can
It's
prepare
gonna
our
come
trades
back- it
again.
will-
So for those who think that just because Chris has already made his $2 million, and I just checked my account, and in the last 4 trading days, I'm up $500,000. So without even trying on vacation, I was making money in this market. But we think that there's still plenty of time, and we're going to be talking about the trades and the strategies that we're going to use to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it could be 4 million, right? It could be 4 million by the time this trade is over with, which would be awesome. That'd be a great way to start off the year. But let's talk about what actually happened. So the noise is now, the noise, would you guys agree, continues probably this entire week? It's all, this week is all impeachment and Trump, lots of noise, right?
Yep.
Awesome, great. But what happens next week? We have the inauguration is soon, right? Is it next week? It
The
is
20th.
next week, right?
So yeah.
Yeah, so the inauguration is next week, and what actually is going to happen? I think the primary subject matter that will be discussed, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Biden plan at the inauguration. But the primary focus of day one, like right now, like priority right this second, we're going to do so much stuff in the next 2 years, 4 years, but right this second, right now, $2,000 in your pocket, $2,000, $2,000 per person, plus
It
$500
was-
or $600 per child. We're talking about maybe $4,000 to $5,000 per household that
It
qualifies.
was Joe's tweet last night. He's already saying we're doing the $2,000. It's going to happen. And now that we control everything, it's going to happen. Now he can't do it until the 20th, and we're basically in this little holding pattern now, and I love it. We're just waiting for the market to just ignite.
2,000 is like 5,000. It's 5,000 per household is what it is on average. Two kids
It should,
per house. 500 a kid, 2,000 per husband, 2,000 per wife. It's 5,000.
We don't know the mechanics yet, but if it's 2,000 per adult, and then there is a kid allowance, then yes, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, let's assume that there is, okay? This is so big. You know, we always talk about when things are just bigger than we've ever seen, the market can never truly assess them, right? Like the market the first stimulus, remember the first stimulus back in late spring? Did the market have any clue initially the extent to which that was going to change the game for capital markets? Did anybody I mean, we realized it. We were knee deep in it. But did anyone realize? It's an anomaly. Markets
The market
do
as a whole
not
was
price
not-
in anomalies.
They're
Ever
not able to react
correctly.
to it. They didn't know how to do it, and we were able to outsmart the market.
So this is an anomaly beyond all anomalies we've ever seen in the history of the market, guys, I think. I mean, this is so politics aside, you might think this is a great idea for the country or a terrible idea. I don't care. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you're a Trumper or if you're a socialist or if you're something in between. It doesn't matter. I don't care what I think about it. It doesn't matter. $5,000. Do you know what that means, guys, for crypto, for Bitcoin? Forget about Bitcoin's down 10 grand today, right? I mean, I don't care. It was up like 20,000 in the last 5 days. All right, but do you know what it means for Bitcoin? Do you know what it means for all the Robinhooder stocks? And there's so many now. Oh, there's so many. And do you know what it means for SPACs? For SPACs? How about all of the stuff how about EV? What does it mean for EV? I mean, why are we talking about this? Because
Not
the
just Tesla,
same
all of
things
the
that
EVs.
worked before, do you think it's the same exact things that worked before with some tweaks? And I'm going to talk about my favorite tweak in a minute, but with some tweaks, because when the timing of this is not going to be January or February, right? Like they're saying the timing of this to get this approved through Congress and the Senate to get it all worked out, to actually get checks issued realistically, March, late March, right? Maybe April even. That's maybe what we're looking at for checks, like for like cash in hand, cash in fist. That's what, you know, when we used to sell cars, Dave, Jordan, like I'll never forget, like We used to line up. My first job out of college was selling BMWs at John Roberts BMW in Dallas, and they would line us up on Saturday mornings, and the GM of the dealership would have a stack of $100 bills, and he'd be like, cash and fist. If you sell that car, $800 cash and fist. If you sell 2 cars today, $300 cash and fist. The person that sells the most cars today, $2,000, CIF cash and fist. And as you sold those cars, you'd walk in his office and he'd slap $100 bills in your hand. Cash in fist, mid to late March, right, guys?
I
Don't you
never
think-
actually
don't you
went to the
think
car
that the
dealership.
buying
I've
goes-
never seen this happen in practice.
No, it happens, Jordan. It happened
Hilarious.
to me. It was cash and fist, and it happened again in LA when I was selling cars out there. Oh God, that's a lot of cash, guys, for an average American. $2 to $5 grand per family, like for a single. Can you imagine? How about the 22-year-old, 23-year-old? As long as they're not living as a dependent under their parents, because they wouldn't qualify. But
They
by
might
the way,
this time
if you're-
around, though. This could be the first time that those dependent adult
Oh.
children
Or
actually
they-
qualify.
Are they
That's
trying to
something that the Democrats have always wanted all along, and
Oh my God.
they thought it was going to happen even in the $600 that just happened, and at the last minute that got yanked. So this could be the first time that adult dependents actually qualify.
I didn't even think about that. You're telling me we're gonna have 2K CIF cash and fist for 21, 22-year-olds that are just still living at home? They're
There's a
still living at
chance.
home.
There's a
You
chance.
know what they're doing with that money. You know what they're doing with that money.
Yeah, direct depositing it into their Coinbase account and buying Bitcoin. That's what's going to happen.
Or they're buying Chamath's next SPAC, right?
Yes.
Or they're
Or-
buying.
They're going to go in heavy and leverage and realize that, yes, I can buy shares of this company. Or they're going to watch these crazy YouTubers, not us, but there's a lot of crazy YouTubers out there who are, I'm making $1 million a day trading. I'm playing crazy options. I made $50,000 in a weekend with options. Like, what? But
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's happening right now, dude. It's gonna be insane. And by the way, you know what's also nice? $2,000, pretty much exactly the cost of what? A Peloton bicycle. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying.
Possible.
So here's the deal. There's so many trades. We've talked about this before. There are so many sectors that benefit. First let's talk about the sectors and the trades that benefit, but then I'm going to talk about something that's way more important, okay? If you're tuning in right now to hear about the trades, you're not quite understanding how we're going to make the $2 million, or in this case, probably $4 million is what I'm going for right now. Maybe $5
$2 million a piece.
a piece,
easily.
$2 million a piece. Well, I'm going for 4 to 5 myself. So here's the thing.
Okay, well-
But it's about leverage, and I'm not going to talk about leverage yet. Let's talk about the sectors and the trades that we all agree upon, and then let's talk about the leverage, because the leverage is where it really. I want to talk about why I have the conviction I have to go max leverage for the next 3 weeks. Okay.
Yep.
All right. What did we miss? What else, guys? What do you think is going to be hot?
Well, I really am missing RobinTrack, that website that used to show you what people were trading on Robinhood. That data is what I would be trading. So I'll be looking at other websites.
StockTwits
has it. Public has it. So I'll be looking at what people, real life individual traders, are actually trading, what they're excited about, what they're buying.
Okay.
It's what we've already talked about. My thought is it's going to be all of the EV companies, Bitcoin, and just FANG stocks.
Okay. Can I
Amazon.
comment
I
on
want more
that?
Amazon.
You know who do they love more than anyone right now? What is the ultimate? If you think about it, what is the ultimate Robinhooder mini sector right now, other than the obvious like EV? Chamath SPACs, right? He's got like 4 of them. Guess what I own? All 4. I bought the ones I didn't own this morning. I own all of them. I own the 2 blank check ones. It's like iPod and IPOF. Okay, I bought SoFi. I already own SoFi. I bought more SoFi, a little more SoFi this morning. I think it's IPOE, I think. I don't even know. I just like, if it starts with an IP and then has 2 more, symbols after that. Like I'm in. I'm in. I'm in all of his. And we're gonna have an episode, guys. Can we have an episode later this week just on him and all this? Like I have an entire investment strategy centered around that man this year, and I'm not even sure if I like him, but it doesn't really matter. I think he's the next Elon Musk when it comes to aspirational, just aspirational economics in life and just investing and just wanting to hitch on to anything that he does, guys. And man, I'm telling you, I want to have an episode.
It's a new
on him
world
this
of
week.
spaconomics.
But it's not just economics. He is different. It's if you can just throw money right at one person, whether you agree or not agree with his SPACs doesn't even really matter. I don't have to like them. The people like them. The kids love them. They're gonna love everything that he does because he speaks in a way that
isn't just to be
resonates
like
with that generation.
another investment banker or something like that. His goal is to be one of the people at like the seat of the table of like who runs the world, and so that's his MO.
Yes. And I could agree with him or not, it really doesn't matter. I'm throwing my money behind him because the same way that I kind of missed the boat a little early on Elon, because I thought he was the maniac that he is. But that was my bad. I'm catching up for it now, the last year. But I'm not missing the boat on this guy. And I, Kathy Woods, same thing. But Kathy Woods is not nearly as aspirational, as vocal, I think, as Chamath is. And so, honestly, that's an episode. That's coming, guys. By the way, also, I'm sorry, Dave, I don't want to get off topic, but we are going to have an episode tomorrow that I literally will not sleep tonight because we have a new EV pick, okay? I'm putting 7 figures into this very small, very, very small EV pick, which I can't believe. A month ago, I would have never thought I'd be saying that, guys. I
Did I
cannot
buy
wait.
this one? No, I read a report on Discord yesterday. I have not bought it yet.
Did someone do a report on Discord on this?
I thought so. Isn't that what you sent me?
No, I sent you an
you sent me
article.
an
I think I sent you
article.
like someone
it
did
was a
Seeking
Trading
Alpha
Alpha.
article.
Yeah.
No, but no, this is one I've been looking at for about a week. A friend, a trader, the most successful trader I know. I can't use his name. He won't let me use his name. But he's the most successful trader that I know. The most successful trader of 2020. We've been, chatting, and this is one of his big EV picks, and he led me onto it. I've been researching it. I fell in love with it. Can't wait to talk about it tomorrow, guys. It's coming tomorrow. So back to business. Jordan, what are we missing here, dude? Like for 2000 cash and fist, 5K. Where's it going? What are you investing in?
Man, it's a tough one. I'm kind of sticking with what we've got. We've got rates shooting up. I've got banks. I mean, I'm doing boring stuff, but it's
So
working.
are you going to do more of the same boring stuff, though, or are you just going to stay steady?
No, I
where
feel
you
like I
are?
need to get into some of these SPACs and some of the crazy Robin Hood stocks that I haven't done yet.
Dip your toe into the more speculative world of investing.
Yeah, I don't love it.
I mean, here's the thing, and this is great, Jordan, because I know that this is something you've been struggling with for a long time because you do listen, you're a rational thinker, you're a pragmatic thinker, you invest in things that make sense, right? But if the rest of the world is investing in things that don't make sense, or at least to you, or even to me, right? That doesn't matter to me because if they're going to do that and they're going to do that for a prolonged period of time, I don't have to make a decade-long commitment to investing in these into crypto or Bitcoin or whatever it is. If I know that these people, when I say people, I don't mean like 100,000, day traders. I'm talking about 20 million to 30 million new investors that are globally coming into this market. By the way, guys, have you seen some of the stats on how much of the market is now controlled by retail investors? It's like 35%, upwards of 40%. Have you seen numbers like that in a long time? Guys,
No.
We're just getting started. Imagine what that's going to be a year from now when the people that started investing in 2020, their accounts are now double, triple, and they're starting to get comfortable, right? They're putting more money into the market, right? That number continues to expand. We could be looking at a market in a year or two that is majority controlled by retail investors. So what they think matters. It matters because they could expand the multiples, guys, Jordan, of some of these sectors by 2 and 3x. And those multiples can stay inflated for a decade, right? Or longer. So I think that stuff we have to pay attention to. But I understand why you're hesitant to get into some of this stuff because, it doesn't always really make sense. I'll give you a perfect example. Chamath SPACs, right? Like, so he'll shoot a SPAC out at $10.
Yeah, I mean they're all trading at like 2 to 2.5 times the value of what they're putting into the company. So it just doesn't make sense, right?
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense unless look at the way companies that were hot have traded the last year. Companies that are aspirational, that don't necessarily have a lot of revenue, but are companies that are going to be a grand slam or nothing. These are going to be the companies that will take over. Like SoFi is a company that 10 or 15 years from now is going to either take over that kind of banking space, right? That they're just barely scratching the surface of, or not. But the funny thing is, we might not know for 5 or 6 or 7 years if they even have a chance. So the question is, for me, are we going to act and pretend like they are going to or they aren't going to? And I think if you think about the mindset of these investors, they are going to assume that Chamath is going to be successful. And it's because he blessed it and because now they're going to get all the money like Tesla. Why is Tesla so expensive? Partially because the people believed in them and they got all the money, okay? When you get all the money, it's easier to buy your way to success, right? And so I'm not saying that's the only reason why Tesla is successful, but sure as hell doesn't hurt. There's a lot of companies like Tesla that would have went bankrupt 4 times over if they didn't have the support of tens of millions of people popping their stock price so they can continue to raise billions to tens of billions of dollars every time they make a mistake, right? So that is something that we need to consider as investors, right? It's not just about valuation or likelihood that they'll be successful. That's where my mind is headed this year. I need to think dumber, right? We joke, we're all dumb money, but like I need to think like a 20-year-old investing for the first time. Because that's who's investing this year. That's who controls the market.
It looks like a flashlight, Dave.
This is a headlight that I saw. Headline. Yeah, it's probably too bright. TikTok and Discord are the new Wall Street trading desks. That is a Wall Street Journal headline 7 hours ago. It's like that's right. Exactly what it is.
That's right. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. It's everything. It's freaking everything. And by the way, here's the thing. I think a lot of people, and if you're watching today, you might think, oh, come on, these guys are going to get burned the first time the market takes a spill, whatever. All right, fine. I'm so sick of hearing that. Maybe. But the amount of money that they have in the market, like individually, is so minuscule, okay, that I think any big market correction, they're going to see that as an opportunity. And by the way, if you know how Wall Street thinks, it's just a bunch of chumps in a trading room for the most part, right? Like they are now following this. They have now figured out that they can't fight it. So once Wall Street raises the red flag, and guys, would you agree that Wall Street's like articles like that, they've kind of already raised the red flag of being like, shoot, our way's not working anymore. We got to follow this stuff. It's over, dude. It's over. These traders, they are herd mentality. Wall Street is a bunch of sheep. They've been trading with herd mentality for 40 years. Yeah. The only difference is the herd they used to chase was someone in the industry. Now the herd they're chasing something that originates outside of Wall Street. That's the only difference. It's done. Once you make that changeover, good luck getting it back.
Yep. Completely agree.
So listen, can we agree that we're not talking about anything crazy in terms of stock picks here? Bitcoin, EV, all the stuff that is friendly and warm and feels good to a 22-year-old that wants to believe that the future looks different than it does today, right? Solar, Biden stocks, also SPACs, anything that they have the opportunity to like make 10, 20 times their money, right? Can we agree that that's what we're talking about? It's not.
But then
same
but then
stuff we've been talking about for 6 months.
Yeah,
right?
it's the exact same stuff. If you go back and watch our videos, we've talked about these exact same companies every single time. There are Biden trades, there are bounce back trades. These are the go-to trades. But this time around,
cannabis.
They've all already run up so much that I don't see, some of them doubling yet again. So I'm gonna be a little more heavily leveraged in them to make my money go further.
That's exactly what I want to talk about. Like, Dave, we might not have, I don't know how long this is going to last, but I feel pretty comfortable that it's going to last a few weeks through the inauguration, through the speech, right? Through the rah-rah, yeah, this is happening now. Like, I know it's not a guarantee that will happen, but I think it's, I'm fairly confident this cash and fist come March is going to happen with the Biden administration, control of the Senate. I don't think that's sunk in because there's too much market noise. People are getting confused. They don't realize how big of a deal this is. And I'm willing to borrow $22 million, which is what I'm borrowing. I think I'm borrowing.
You're doing it again, but you're already. How heavy in margin are you? Do you even have any room left to marvel?
And I'm starting to add options though now, Dave. I'm starting to add options to it. So
that's the only place you have to go is with options.
It's the only way for me to margin more than I have. So like I'm full maxed out on margin, and now I'm starting to invest in options, and I'm willing to do that not for the next 6 months. I'm willing to do it
very
for
short term.
For a few
well,
weeks,
and that's the way I see it. Also, you've mentioned just now the risk of things pulling back. That's a perfect time for options for me because of the limited downside risk. Limiting it to losing your entire investment, but having that double, triple, quadruple, 10x, even more potentially of an options play. So that's where I'm looking at options in a way that, kind of the way we used to do it back when we couldn't afford to invest in stocks. It's almost like all in because this is a unique opportunity.
But I'm not investing in out of the money options, right? I'm investing in kind of like options that are slightly in the money to in the money. I'm just getting a little bit more leverage. So I'm already leveraged with my margin. I'm full max margin. Like I said, $22 million. Now my portfolio is, 30. It's right at 30, and I have like 50, roughly just over 50 with the margin that I'm managing in the portfolio. I'm just inching up the percentage of that portfolio that's invested in options, right? And so I think this is, for me, it's like a 2-week thing. It's like a 2-week trade. And then I'll make my decision after that, the degree to which I want to pull back. But I'm hoping we kind of see follow through on a lot of these plays. Now, by the way, I still think the rebound bounce back trade is on. I don't know how quickly it starts to accelerate. So I'm hoping that I can kind of, at some point in the next couple weeks, transition out of this stimulus trade and transition into the recovery trade and really slam into Spirit again. I'm already in Spirit so heavily, but I want to lever into Spirit even more than I am now, but I'm not going to put that leverage in until I can successfully exit this trade.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And by the way, can we talk about the risk factor of being on 100% margin?
Yeah, because I was just looking, Gordo chatted in that he predicts you're going to blow up this year.
Listen,
sure hope not. Who knows? It's possible. Just for you guys that don't know kind of the history here, my track record is on the 68% annualized returns goes back 15 years to pre-2008 crash. So from 2007 to 2021 right this second. That's a 15-year track record that has taken me through multiple market corrections, and average portfolio returns at this point have got to be above 70%, but fully audited by Jack Schwager at 68%. So who knows? I might crash this year. It's possible, but I haven't crashed yet. Certainly there will be pullbacks. There will be times. Remember that trade in 2019 where I lost almost $1 million and I was devastated. But now we're up to 30, up to 30. So I don't think I'm going to lose it all. We are actively trading the market. There's massive risk of going on full margin, guys. If the market falls by 35%, the way that I am margined, I'll likely lose it all. I mean, are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable losing 100% of your money if the market
falls 35%. If
And,
you're not,
and that is where I'm not comfortable, and your risk tolerance is higher than mine, and I'm slightly more conservative. I'm using margin. I'm actually, I think, about $1 million or so on margin right now in equities, but I'm not planning to max out my margin. It's what I use to have a little additional buying power when opportunities come about, and this is where I'm going to probably buy a little more stock and go in with some options and just try to crank out an extra couple $1 million.
Yeah, because you that kind of minimizes your downside, right, Dave? You know, your downside with options is 100% loss on the options, but you're not spending your entire portfolio on options, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. So I'm margin plus options on the margin money.
Yeah, I don't even know how your broker's allowing you to buy options when you're already 100%. You're probably going to have to sell some stock. Or do you have two accounts going where they don't know about each other?
It just depends. On a bad day, things get a little, I get margin called. It happens. I mean, I've gotten margin called multiple times over the last month.
Yeah.
It happens, right? But
so in the chat, people want to know, Jordan specifically, what are you looking at in the next 2 to 3 weeks, buying and selling?
Yeah, so I'm just staring at all the things that have blown up so big. I'm trying to figure out their staying power in them or not, right? With like the Teslas and the Bitcoins and things like that. Like, what does that look like in the next? I'm a different investor than you guys. Like, I don't invest for the short term. I tend to not. I'll play something every once in a while, but I'm not actively trading stuff like this. If I buy something, I intend to buy it for the long haul, and that's my mentality when I go into these things, and that's why I don't just fly into and out of some of these things. And so what I'm more curious about what the world looks like over the next 5 years or so, and that's why I bought the banks and the oils, because I know that those things, we're going to get rates that'll go up. It's going to take a while, and I know that oil prices will continue to go up over the next few years, because they're as much as we want to electrify the future, and we will, there's still going to be demand for these things. Even Tesla uses oil, right? I mean, he still uses plastics. You still have tires. You still have lubricants and things like that. And so these are still things that you can invest in, right?
Jordan, I'm surprised you haven't gone in deeper on Amazon. I think when I think about stimulus plays for Jordan, I'm thinking, Amazon is a beneficiary as much, if not more, than anyone else when it comes to this stimulus that's about to happen here. It's trading at relatively reasonable levels compared to the market, right, over the past 6 months and what's happened. I know you've been looking at Amazon for a long time. You know that Amazon is now my #1 position. It's the one I'm most comfortable with because it hasn't really made that move. I think it's gotten lost in the noise. I don't think it is a name that's super attractive to a lot of these kind of younger investors because it is so big. It has that really scary number in front of it. It's hard to buy a share. Now they can buy fractional shares of Amazon, but it hasn't moved in the last 6 months, so it's not sexy, it's not interesting. But if it starts to move, or if if Bezos would just do the stock split that everyone's talking about, there's so much buzz about it. I'm not going to say it's a 50% chance he'll announce a stock split, but I think there's a 15 or 20% chance it could happen here in the next couple quarters. How about Amazon, Jordan?
Love Amazon. I mean, it's my second largest position. I could always buy more. I actually did buy Apple back because of what I love what they're doing with these chips, and I think they'll be selling a crazy amount of computers over the next few years.
All right, so you went in deeper on Apple then?
Well, no, I was totally out of Apple, so I bought some Apple last week.
Okay, so Amazon still is my #1 position, guys. I have about $9 million in Amazon stock.
Wow. Yeah.
And I do.
It's still my #1 too.
Listen,
it depends. Tesla could eclipse it only because Tesla price keeps going up. I haven't bought more, but.
What's so amazing is how well the accounts have gone, even having that large of an Amazon position here. Because I put that extra position on about a month ago. It's done okay, but now we're kind of rolling to Amazon earnings. By the way, guys, let's just talk. Do you see? How about them Crocs today, dude? Wow. I mean, that's one of my largest positions. Crocs, it did exactly what we thought it would do. I think that is a relatively good sign. I think we're going to start to see some of these earnings coming out on the holiday quarter. I think it's really important to watch some of these earnings reports. By the way, in Discord yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw it, we opened up a new, well, Dave, you opened up the channel for me, so thank you. We opened up a new channel for web traffic, and I put web traffic reports for 65 companies in that web traffic area of our Discord. By the way, all of our socials, guys, are on dumbmoney.tv. Our Discord channels, dumbmoney.tv. Everything is listed there. Our Twitter accounts, all of it. But that web traffic stuff, man, it had some surprises in there. Some really big surprises. By the way, BarkBox, the BarkBox SPAC, they went parabolic in December, man. They're doing amazing. So I might actually add to my BarkBox position this week as well. I keep saying I'm going to add. I'm at a point where if I want to add, I have to pull back.
You have to sell something, yeah.
I have to sell something, so it gets harder, right?
Are you still posting most of your trades, the ones that we talk about at least, into the Discord?
So I think what I'm going to do, I have so many of them on at this week. I'm just going to do a dump
dump
of
them
my
all?
entire
Yeah.
portfolio. I'm just going to take snapshots, or I'll do an Excel export, and I'll just put the entire portfolio on Discord. I don't like doing that often because you don't know when I'm selling a stock. I can put that in there and sell a stock like a few hours later and not realize it, and you see it the next day, think I'm in a stock. Not that you should be trading on that stuff, you shouldn't, and I don't want people mimicking our trades because, again, dude, our risk tolerance is different than yours. Like, I just told you I'm okay losing 100%. 100% is a risk that I am willing to live with every moment of every day. And I think most people, if they really think about it, are not willing to live with that risk. So if you know that, why would you copy my trades? Definitely not copy my risk, my level of risk.
Yeah.
So I do want to say this, guys. This episode, I think the stock picks that we've chosen for this stimulus trade are pretty obvious. There's nothing there that's super like mind-blowing, right? EV, SPACs, Bitcoin, all the stuff that's been working, I think is the stuff that will continue to work once we get clarity on the cash and fist stimulus that's about to hit. I also think there's a number of other Biden trades that we will hear about during the inauguration next week. We'll have a separate episode on that. I think, again, continuing to press that. What I'm taking away from this episode is that, for me, it's about pushing my risk tolerance up during the next couple weeks. For me, that means margin, right? For Jordan,
Even
that might
more
mean
margin
something different.
than 100% margin. You're
No, but
now
for Jordan, it might mean being 80% equity versus 70% equity. It might mean having 20% cash versus 30%.
Oh,
cash.
I'm 80% equity.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm just using a random example, right?
Probably
Like, it means,
85. Probably closer to 85 right now.
all right, so it means something different for all of us, but for me, the cash and fist stimulus, the insane $5,000. Again, I don't think people quite understand how big this is. That means that I'm willing to press really hard the next couple weeks. I'm willing, like this morning when the market was down, last night when I saw it, the market was starting to tank a little bit, I had to settle myself.
Futures were down.
Yeah, and I'd be like, listen, inauguration speech is coming a week from now. Like, I know there's some noise in the market. I know there's some nervousness. I know we're up so much, people are willing to take profit. I know that we could have a setback here, but we could not. And I think, for me, the risk reward is I'd rather press it into next week. And really, what's driving that more than anything else, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for this $5,000 stimulus. Okay? And I'm going to call, because that's what it is, I think, for most American families. It's a $5,000 cash stimulus. Okay? I wouldn't be doing this without that. But with it, I can't. It's not just another stimulus. It's not just another $600. It's not another $1,200. There's a gigantic difference between $2,000 and $1,200 when you multiply it times 2. Okay? Because 2 people in a house, and then you add the child credits, like, dude. And I think it will, because of the timing of it, if we can get our act together. And I think another thing you're going to hear the Biden administration saying is they're going to do this 100-day, 100 million vaccinations. I don't think they're going to be able to achieve it, but they're going to try. Like, just the mere fact that is like the laser focus of theirs. If they're actually successful, or even if they prop that up as something that they think they can do, that alone, don't you think, is going to start the transition to recovery stocks? And so, don't you think that when people get this money in mid to late March or even early April, the timing is so ideal for travel now. So I do think we need to think about this a little bit differently. Maybe a little bit less Etsy.
And a little
okay?
more
A little
Spirit Airlines.
more Spirit.
Yep.
Because the timing. Guys, timing is everything. Like when you get cash and fist, if your friends are talking about going on a trip when you have cash and fist, you're using it to go on a trip. If you've been dreaming about a Peloton, right, you're going to buy a Peloton. If all of your buddies are in Bitcoin and Bitcoin finally came back some off a ridiculously high level, right, you're like, finally, I can get my Bitcoin because I finally have
This is
cash
where
and
I'm
fist.
still
And I can do it.
nervous about the Spirit trade. Think about it. I mean, yeah, I get there's going to be more people traveling, but we're not going to have massive international travel for a long time. We're not going to have business travel coming back to where it was. I could see maybe some like local travel to where people are like, oh, yeah, let's go to Florida. let's
Jordan,
go to
the
Maine,
only
let's do that."
international travel that Spirit does is Mexico, and Mexico is hot.
Or are they?
like-
Are they? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
Spirit is.
Spirit
they
is
don't
your
go
other
they don't go to
domestic
Europe.
airline.
Yeah, they're a domestic airline that does some Mexico. That does literally like spring breaker trips to Mexico and whatever. They do all the vacation stuff to Mexico. They go to the vacation cities, right? They are a vacation airline. They are Orlando hub. They are the airline of Disney, basically. They're the airline of people trying to save a buck, flying around, visiting their family, and going on beach vacations. That's Spirit. But yeah, Southwest is your favorite, I know, and they're like right there. I mean, they're like, they're not that dissimilar in terms of their
Up
route.
2% today on Southwest.
Nice. Guys,
Spirit is down. Might be an opportunity to buy some more, Chris.
yeah, listen, I'm not going deeper into Spirit or any rebound stock right this second, guys. I think I'm going to make that transition here in the next few weeks. But not right now. I'm already in Spirit. I'm already in my rebound stocks. I'm not going to press them now. I have other stuff to press. I'm going to press all the stuff that I think will directly benefit from the perception of Biden getting up there talking about $5,000 in your pocket for a family, the perception of it in January. Now, when we get the checks in mid to late March, April, that's a different story, right? And as that kind of starts to settle into people's heads that, oh, we're not getting the money now, and then when they realize when they're getting the money, like you'll start to see articles and conversations about who's going to actually benefit, and it's going to be travel. And by the way, when you know you're getting that money, you're going to start to book trips knowing the money's coming, right? By the way, cruise, Jordan, your cruiser friends might feel, well, your cruiser friends, let's just say this.
Hey, I'm not the only one. When I was talking about that earlier, by the way, I think Jinx and Pedro, maybe some other people, I don't remember exactly who, but I heard a lot of people saying that the cruise ship or the cruise lines are reporting that 2022 they're starting to get massive bookings for, but not 21.
Okay, fine. Yeah, because there's
So I
uncertainty,
don't think that's
right?
it's not just me saying that.
No, I agree with you. There's uncertainty, but what about if the vaccinations start to hit quicker than we think, right?
But
And
they're
they start to
slower
get
than we
that in
think
gear?
right now.
They're slower now, and that's why people are not booking cruises because they don't have confidence they're going to get vaccinated in time for a cruise. But what happens when they actually get vaccinated? They get home and they look at each other and they're like, "We're vaccinated. We
Last
wanna
minute
do the
cruise.
We
now."
haven't been anywhere in a while. It's time
Yeah.
to cruise.
By the way, Albon is asking me about Collector's Universe. I think Collector's Universe. I'm going to only talk about this for 30 seconds. Collector's Universe. We had a whole episode about it. Wow, is the web traffic up for them in November and December? Steve Cohen bought this company. People are saying he stole it. Okay, he bought it for like $3 over what it was trading at, or something ridiculous. They are trying to, people are trying to reject the sale to try to get more money. And there's a thesis out there that they are not going to get enough shareholders to approve the sale, and that the sale's not going to go through, and they're going to have to pay another $5, $10 a share, $15 a share to make it happen. I could see that happening. I could totally see it happening, because I'm telling you right now, when this earnings report comes out in Collector's Universe, they are going to blow it out of the water. And if they can't get the votes in time, I don't know what the voting looks like on Collectors Universe, but man, if I didn't have so many other opportunities, I might just buy Collectors Universe at the sale price right now, just with speculation that this thing is going to go higher and they're going to force them to pay more money. It's not like Steve Cohen doesn't have a few more billion to throw at the deal, right? He can easily do that. I think he realizes how big of an opportunity this is. They are going to crush this quarter's earnings. If I have any extra cash, I might just buy some options if they're trading options. I have to do some research, guys. Someone should do a report, a high conviction report or low conviction report on Collectors Universe. Go through the sequence of events that are happening with Collectors Universe. When is the vote happening? I would like to personally know, because I think there's a reasonable shot that this thing could go higher and they could squeeze more money out of Cohen. God, I would love to own this company. I'm so upset that he's taken it off the market. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. Man, pissed off about that. But who knows? There might be some arb there if they can squeeze more money out of him. Collectors Universe. What do you think that chart would look like if he didn't just take it off the market? You know what chart would be. It'd be $100 stock right now, all day long. It'd be. I mean, there are. Listen, one of the funds that's invested in this thing, they made a pretty good case that it's $100 to $150 stock all day long, and I agree. I think it's $100 plus stock. Cohen knew what he was doing. He took it out. But if they could just convince these shareholders to hold out and not vote for the deal, there's no way he's not going to pay more money. There's no way he wouldn't throw another $10 a share, $15 a share at this.
Yeah. Young investors watching us today, hey, thanks for tuning in. Our video with him hit 22,000 views today, and somewhere in the chat, I can't find it now, but I think I saw earlier he said that his portfolio has officially doubled as of today. So congratulations.
12-year-old. That's a 12-year-old.
That is remarkable. And
by the way, he's pretty smart for 12. But can I just tell you something, guys? My daughter, I told her that I was trying to talk to her about BarkBox yesterday because she has some cash she's looking to spend. She has this little business where she's been selling Covey cords, the things that people put on their face masks to hang them around their neck, and like she sells them to kids at school. And I talked to her about BarkBox, and you know what her reaction was?
What?
She said, "Yeah, Dad, but can they really compete with Chewy? Like, how do you even know what Chewy is? How do you even know what Chewy is? Like, I'm talking to her, like, trying to educate her, and she's pushing back on me, trying to tell. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and then I had to have a little debate with her about BarkBox can hold its own against Chewy. But I think she is.
Then you're like, no, watch my YouTube video. I talk all about it.
She's 10 years old, dude. And so she is going to get some. I convinced her she is going to get some BarkBox. We're getting some more cash in her account this week. And there was one other. What was the other thing? I gotta remember. There's one other stock she wanted to buy. I gotta remember.
Dave, did you end up getting a BarkBox for Chimmy?
I have not bought a BarkBox. I did buy some BarkBox stock.
Yeah.
And I think I already sold it, though. I was a little nervous about that one as a longer-term investment. So we'll see where that goes. I hope it does well for your daughter.
We'll see. We'll see. That was the other stock. Tomorrow's episode. I gave her a preview to tomorrow's episode, and she was like, "Dad, I am in. I am in. Let's go." And so I have to buy that for her too. So she's getting the EV stock that we'll be talking about tomorrow, and she's getting BarkBox. Add those to her Disney. She only owns one stock right now, Disney. So she's about to triple the diversity in her portfolio.
Now, we had somebody mention, I wonder if this is still a play. So the DRFPC09 talked about Polaris, PII. It's up today. I'm still in that thing. We got summer coming back up. Is this going to be another summer of the jet ski? Does this thing keep going, or is this thing...
Jordan, I'm gonna follow the data on that one. I feel like I don't have to make that decision today.
That's a good point. I still own it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, how well are they doing with their snowmobiles and stuff? Not
Right.
snowmobile. Yeah, don't they have like snowmobiles and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah, all that type of stuff. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the data kind of lead me in the right direction there.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, we're trying to keep these episodes reasonable so that people don't have to make a decision on watching a 2-hour episode on the replay. Tomorrow's going to be I can't wait. I got a lot of work, dude. I want to make sure I cover
big
every angle of this
episode
talk for tomorrow.
Plus, over on my other channel, Hey There, Dave here, I have just finished editing probably my favorite episode of the year, the one where I cash out all of my cashback credit cards. So if you're not subscribed over on that channel, go over to youtube.com/Hey There, Dave here, and you'll see just how many dollars. And you basically can do some reverse math and see exactly how much money I spent in 2020.
Also, all right, we won't say it. We have some good stuff coming up this week.
Oh, are you talking about a TikTok trade that we're going to do
Yes,
sometime
I got
later
a
this
TikTok.
week?
There's a TikTok trade I want to talk about.
trade coming up.
The
so many good
TikTok trade
things.
is coming up.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
can't even-
happening.
yes. So
That's happening.
we
I'm still working on
know.
it.
So we'll be on tomorrow. I'm traveling or checking out of this Airbnb right during showtime, so we won't have an episode on Wednesday, but then probably Thursday and probably Friday too.
Awesome. All right, remember to give us a thumbs up, guys. We really, really appreciate it. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified, and
Head over to
we'll
Dumb
see you
Money
tomorrow.
TV to find us everywhere, and we are Dumb Money. We will see you tomorrow.